Hometown halfpipe hero, Eileen Gu leads San Francisco's Chinese New Year parade. U.S. Olympic gold medalist Alyssa Leu will not compete in the World Figure Skating Championships, scheduled for later this month in Prague. Despite being the defending world champion, Leu's decision to withdraw is not a surprise to figure skating insiders and observers after she became the first American women's figure skater to win gold at the Winter Olympics since 2002. The 2026 World Championships take place approximately a month after Leu finished atop the podium at the Milan Cortina Games, and she has been doing numerous interviews and talk show appearances to celebrate the victory. This would not be the first time Leu, 20, has prized her personal time and mental health over on-ice competition. She retired from figure skating at 16 years old, 3 years after becoming the youngest woman ever to win the U.S. Championship as a 13-year-old. Leu won U.S. titles in 2019 and 2020. She was also the first American woman to land a quadruple jump at the 2019 Grand Prix, yet after competing in the Beijing Winter Olympics and World Championships in 2022, she decided to step away from the sport, saying it felt like a job. Leu regained her willingness to compete, reuniting with her former coaches and training while studying at UCLA. Last March, that comeback culminated with winning the World Championship in Boston. Leu's win was the first for an American female figure skater since Kimi Meisner in 2006. That became the precursor for Leu winning 2 golds in team and singles competition at Milan Cortina. She became the first U.S. female figure skater to medal since Sasha Cohen won silver in 2006 and the first to take gold since Sarah Hughes in 2002. With that, Leu joined 7 other American women to win Olympic figure skating gold. Replacing Leu on the USA roster in Prague will be Sarah Everhart. She steps in for first alternate Bradai Tennell, who also withdrew from the World Championships. Everhart will compete with Amber Glenn and Isabeau Levito, who comprise the Blade Angels with Leu. The World Figure Skating Championships begin March 24 at the O2 Arena in Prague. Hometown halfpipe hero, Eileen Gu leads San Francisco's Chinese New Year parade. On a crisp evening in San Francisco, the city's streets shimmered with red lanterns, golden dragons, and the echo of firecrackers bursting in celebration. Crowds packed Market Street in Chinatown, their voices rising in excitement as drums pounded and lion dancers leaped through the air. But this year's Chinese New Year parade carried an extra spark of pride. At the front of the procession rode a young woman who had conquered snowy mountains across the world and returned home as a hero, Olympic freestyle skiing champion Eileen Gu. For San Francisco, a city famous for its diversity and cultural fusion, Gu represented something deeply meaningful. She was not just a champion athlete. She was a symbol of connection, between cultures, between generations, and between the past and the future. A parade rooted in history. The San Francisco Chinese New Year Parade is more than just a celebration. It is one of the oldest and largest Lunar New Year festivals outside Asia, with roots reaching back to the 1860s. Chinese immigrants who arrived during the California Gold Rush created the parade as a way to share their traditions and culture with the broader American community. Over time, the event grew into a dazzling spectacle featuring colorful floats, martial arts performances, lion dances, and massive dragons weaving through the streets. Every year, thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands, of spectators gather to welcome the Lunar New Year together. But in 2026, the parade gained an additional sense of excitement because of its Grand Marshal, a hometown superstar whose achievements had captured the world's attention. The rise of a halfpipe legend. Eileen Gu was born in San Francisco in 2003 and grew up between 2 cultures. Her mother immigrated from China, and Gu spent parts of her childhood both in California and in Beijing. Fluent in English and Mandarin, she grew up embracing both sides of her heritage. From an early age, she loved the mountains. At just 3 years old, she began skiing in Lake Tahoe, where her talent quickly became obvious. Over the years, Gu developed into one of the most exciting freestyle skiers in the world. Her rise was nothing short of extraordinary. At the 2022 Winter Olympics in Beijing, she stunned audiences by winning 2 gold medals and 1 silver. Then at the 2026 Milan Cortina Olympics, she added even more medals to her collection, becoming the most decorated freestyle skier in Olympic history. The world saw her fearless jumps, gravity-defying spins, and confident style in the halfpipe. But behind those moments of glory were years of dedication, early mornings, and relentless training. For San Francisco, watching Gu dominate the world stage felt like cheering for a neighbor who had made it big. Returning home. When parade organizers announced that Gu would serve as Grand Marshal of the San Francisco Chinese New Year Parade, the reaction was immediate excitement. For Gu, the invitation carried personal meaning. Growing up in San Francisco, she had attended the parade many times as a child. The lanterns, fireworks, and dragon dances were a cherished part of her upbringing. Leading the parade now felt like coming full circle, returning to the traditions that shaped her childhood. On parade night, Jiyu wore a bright red outfit, a color associated with luck and prosperity in Chinese culture, and rode in a flower-decorated convertible. As the car slowly rolled down the street, spectators waved, cheered, and called out her name. Eileen. Eileen. Phones rose into the air as people tried to capture the moment. Children sat on their parents' shoulders to get a glimpse of the Olympic star. The energy in the crowd was electric. For many, this was more than seeing a famous athlete. It was witnessing a hometown hero who had come back to celebrate with her community. A symbol of cultural identity. Eileen Gu's story resonates with many people because it reflects the experience of living between cultures. Although she was born and raised in the United States, she chose to compete internationally for China, her mother's homeland. This decision sparked debate and controversy in some circles. Yet for others, especially in multicultural communities, it highlighted the complexity of identity in a globalized world. Jiyu herself has often described her identity simply. When she is in America, she feels American. When she is in China, she feels Chinese. At the parade, this dual identity felt perfectly at home. San Francisco is a city where cultures intersect and blend. Chinatown itself is one of the oldest Chinese communities in North America, and generations of families have built lives there while maintaining strong ties to their heritage. In that setting, Gu's story felt less like a controversy and more like a celebration of belonging. The magic of the parade. As the parade moved forward, the spectacle unfolded like a living painting. Giant dragons snaked through the crowd, their bodies carried by dancers moving in perfect rhythm. Lion dancers bounced across the pavement, symbolizing strength and good fortune. Firecrackers popped loudly, sending sparks into the air.